This is Pharoh's house.
Greetings, kindred souls and kind strangers. This is part 2 in my lecture series, Distracted. What are you being distracted from doing and knowing? Remember, distractions require your participation as well as attention. Refer to Podisode 1278 for part 1. In this reality, systems of control which are crafted and managed by humans with faces and names and addresses, their distractions are used to keep an unnatural order in place. Of course, distractions deter you from realizing this fact. Every one of us carries a specific responsibility based on main factors like blood lineage and so-called legal status. For example, have you investigated and acknowledged facts about your bloodline in regards to any nationality contracts you or your parents signed? Your existence is ingrained into an oppressive debt-based cycle that is fueled by oppression or subjugation of original people and other non-original groups considered collateral damage. But here's the thing. Most originals are clueless about their true autochthonous status. Case in point, the so-called Black of North America or Black person of North America, who has been told he or she is descendant of slaves brought to the Americas from some unnamed ambiguous place in so-called Africa. No disrespect is implied when I use the status term black. I use it here to exemplify my point only. You more than likely use these terms or these legal status terms such as black, white, and other legal status designators. Note I also say so-called black because obviously that label is a deliberate misnomer when applied to a people. On the other landmasses such as Australia, South America, Central America, which by the way is North America, much of Asia, New Zealand, and even Europe, there are similar caste systems. Mind you, location names are relative because they have been changed completely or subtly after takeover and occupation by non-indigenous groups. Contemporary maps and textbooks help maintain these lies, if you will. Your education along with daily indoctrination deter you from acknowledging, investigating, and planning your strategy to end participation in these crime scenes, formerly known as colonies, but now known as nations or countries. A question every soul bearer and spirit body should be required to ask himself or herself is, what tangible activities are you doing which facilitate an end to destructive cycles? Cycles which I or my ancestry placed me into within this reality. That's the question you should ask yourself. Distractions allow you to use coping mechanisms and emotional triggers like national pride in order to maintain your own delusions about this reality. You now have a main mission to identify each mental coping mechanism you resort to when reality gets too real for you. You will continue your daily activities for now, but with a new knowledge and additional purpose. Why continue to participate in these lies and distractions called a system? Because unlearning what you believe in and what you feel bound by are always the first two steps to take before the big overhaul. You have many options right now. It all depends on the strength of will and fearlessness to accept truth. You are understanding that living in lies or distractions is neither mandatory nor beneficial to anyone, especially to those classified as the lowest caste members of a system. At least now you know, and now you can acknowledge that your participation thus far has brought you selfish satisfaction only. As a soul bearer, you did not arrive into this reality to passively accept nor participate in any system, especially oppressive control systems, because these systems violate originator creator's organic order. Remember, nothing that exists does so without order. I'll repeat that. Nothing that exists does so without order. To those of you who have been designated as the so-called lowest caste, for example, so-called black persons or people, you above all are supposed to know better than to participate or indulge in such distractions. Yes, a caste spell or system is a distraction and a long-lasting, devastating one with devastating effects. One of the most obvious ways you participate in the caste distraction is by calling yourselves the very caste system labels, which have been used to cripple mind and body. There are many other forms of participation which I do not mention in this lecture. Instead, I end this lecture with an example in the form of a question. If your neighbor is criminal, you do not participate in their criminal activities no matter how alluring or how threatening, or do you? Instead, you fortify yourself and your house, and you do not violate the laws of balanced order set in place by creator originator. Once you cross this participation line with no protective strategies, you already put yourself in a place that you become a perpetual victim, a scapegoat, a useful pawn for the very system that enslaves you. And the more you immerse yourself into any system, the harder it is to extricate your true self from it. And that applies to everyone, regardless of bloodline or imposed status or adopted status. All cycles end or stop. This one is no different. Don't get caught in between cycles, for everyone must return from the places they originated. Pharoh's House Podisode is the sole property of pharohshouse.com. All third-party copyrights revert to their original owners. To inquire about syndication or sponsorship, please visit our website at pharohshouse.com. Use of any third-party audio clip content is within compliance with the terms of fair use and the Copyright Act of 107. This report has been presented for informational and educational purposes only. If you wish to use copyrighted material from this report for purposes which go beyond fair use, you must obtain permission from the copyright owner.